All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Try to smooth out those rough roads. A little bit windy outside. I don't think I'll be out there too much. Definitely didn't need this hearing aid expense at this stage of the game. I was trying to improve my credit. That's posture and was working, but that's part of what they do. They get angry when I start improving my finances, and then they curse it. It's part of their stock. I'm gonna go outside and see. It's nice weather, so go out and see. I don't know. It's definitely Satan trying to ruin my sleep last night. It was inflammation, probably. I haven't been watching how early I go to sleep either, so I don't know how much sleep I'm actually getting, and I might be actually falling asleep sooner. Right. So I might actually, if I go to sleep at 9 and I wake up at 4, it's not horrible. Right. So I'm not sure what time I'm falling asleep. I suspect I'm getting to sleep earlier than I used to. I'm trying to get that extra couple hours of sleep in the morning, and it feels like inflammation was keeping me up. Yeah, definitely 4 years ago was where the disconnect majorly happened, and I couldn't get back to healthcare. Right, couldn't get back to massage. And they knew it. They just kept doing weird stuff to my head. Again, it's like a prisoner of war camp. They're disgusting. Look, his guy's got an Amazon delivery driver thing on the side of his vehicle. It's pretty cool. It's like a placard or something. Good idea. Yeah, people don't question what you're doing in their neighborhood. Maybe. Trying to think if I have anything Amazon. I think they delivered everything this morning. I'm not sure. I think I got the rest of the stuff comes later. That's a good idea. They put like those magnetic placards on the side. Amazon delivery driver makes life a little safer, right? Especially if it's a black while delivering Amazon. So what I thought was just from sinus infection was actually a neurological thing. So hopefully I can fix it. I don't know if it will or won't. It's gotten better a little bit. It takes a while for neurology to heal. They knew. They probably knew better than me. They tracked this thing from the beginning. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're trying to cause physical disability. I don't know, it feels kind of icky out here. I don't think I'll be staying out here. It's just like you're being sandblasted with pollen while the sun's baking you, but it's a cool wind. It's well, it's a day late and a dollar short, but my right side is relaxing now a little bit, so that'll give it time to heal. But during that time period, you feel all the inflammation until it heals. Yeah, they should have been kept away. I need to be on have a hearing aid probably a couple years ago. I just didn't know it. Right. At least probably 4 years ago, actually. Probably in Texas. Yeah. Well, they did their thing, and that's what they do. They're devils. I mean, devils do devil things, and then they tell you they're angels of light and ministers of righteousness. Well, I might just, go to sleep later if this keeps happening because it doesn't make sense to wake up 4 in the morning. Right. Tied my first tie since I went to church in Indianapolis. 2010 or so. At least I think I did. I may have went to church in Naples once. I don't know what year that was. I mean, disgusting, man. They just spend their whole day disabling their victim. They get paid millions of dollars to do it over their lifetime. There's plenty of victims. Yeah, they weren't supposed to be anywhere near me. Don't play that game. It won't benefit you at all. As they keep doing it, they just, you know, launching spells that they get paid for killing people. And everybody loves them for it. So if you look at the undertone in the media, the president is being labeled erratic, mentally deficient. And essentially, it'll evolve into incapable of carrying out the requirements of his office. Well, I see there's some things being done to balance the inflation. Apparently, iPhone doesn't have to worry about the larger tariffs. Look, something that I know, you're not taking care of the larger populace. You're taking care of your cliques. So no matter what happens off this thing, you're not going to do what you say you're doing. Larry. So the benefit is limited. Agreed. Well, it works like this. At the point that you're all going to believe you're succeeding, you're going to run out of time. Because one of the aspects of the game is to keep your support. Political game is to keep your supporters in your court. I don't believe that the president is at 41% favorability. I really don't. A lot of people that would find the president unfavorable wouldn't take the poll. They say, I'm not taking the poll. Right? This is just neutral information. Don't let them steer your mind. 100%. Thank you, Larry. Right. Because you create a world where people are afraid to speak out and you can't get the truth when you ask them things like polls and stuff like that. So the key is to make people feel comfortable speaking out. It's the key to understanding, what's going on in the world, how to run your political machine, whatever it is. If you make people afraid of your political machine, they'll either lie or they won't take the poll. Right. Agreed, sir. Agreed. I think it's more like 38%. Right. But see, you can't. How did you build up Donald Trump this time? Because he was hated when he left office. By making them hate Biden more. And I see you trying to do that with several things, including Biden, but it's not going to work. Again, I explained it to you last time. When you're in the office, you're in the office. Right? If you keep going back and blaming the other guy that was in the office, I mean, even it's even worse this time because you're saying, yeah, we're going to cause inflation, but that's the way to salvation. Well, Biden did it. Right. And you're talking stuff about Greenland. People like Greenland. You're using energy, time, and effort to do that. Correct. I agree. Agree, sir. I think he's blinded. I think he can't see where he's going or where it's going. Agreed, sir. Yeah, you probably should have stayed away from my life, all of you. Again, things would have went better for everyone. Try to explain that to you all. Because what you do is you all compare your life to my life. And that's not the way you do it. All right. But you can always wreck my life. So I'm gonna have to wear a pair of khakis, cargo khakis. My suit pants don't fit at all. I was like a 34 or something with a like 48 or 33. I don't know what it was. Probably a 33. So I have to wear a pair of khakis with a shirt. It's just still getting all the way up there to church. What they're saying is I ran into a couple. So again, this just shows you how the LDS church kind of works. I'm not saying it's perfect. So I go up to the church because I'm going to visit. I get a buzz to visit it as soon as I get out of massage. So I go up there, and there's somebody in the parking lot at a certain point. Not when I get there. I don't think it was there, but they pulled in just after me. So of course, being in the world I'm in, like, okay, what is this? Right? Am I safe? Right there. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to try to just carry myself neutrally. And I kind of drove around the church a couple times. So I said, well, let me just park behind them. So I parked behind them and wait. And it's a couple about my age. And the man's moving a little bit slow. So again, they're not completely without disability. And we started talking, and it turns out that they live down here. They live over by Coles somewhere, which is about 5 minutes from my house. That's weird. How you doing? Great. And the thing keeps going where like two people walk out of their apartment at the same time. So, the same thing is strange. Yeah. So they turn out to be my neighbors, but they're going to the same church like 20 minutes away. And they go, well, the church down in Olathe is full. So we can't, uh, we can't go there. So it gave me the answer without even asking the question. Well, it's kind of weird because they said, well, we go to church with our neighbors. So I thought they lived up there when they said that. So I'm like, oh, I'm this guy that lives far away. I'm not going to be going to church with my neighbors. That was weird. Unless I guess a bunch of people down here go to church up there. But that's, I mean, at least it's kind of a major road to get there, 20 minutes. And they told me that in some of the cases, it's like an hour to drive to church. Well, it just makes it more difficult when you got to drive 20 minutes to church. Right? I mean, it shows a certain level of dedication. Well, I'm really, one of the reasons I'm going to church is because the missionary that's helping me, one of them from Utah, is going back to Utah sometime soon. So I just really, they've been real nice. Right? And she even, yesterday, she's like, well, what if we schedule 2 Bible studies a week on the same day every week? And I said, fine. Sounds great. No, I mean, I'm not Jesus Christ, but what the government used and what the criminal cronies of the government used against me is what they used against Jesus. Right. And that's, you know, one of the things I realized years ago, even when I was still somewhat healthy. Right. No, they did this. I mean, they have no reason to be allowed to operate whatsoever. I probably shouldn't even be in Kansas, right, because I have allergies. And if I did, I should have seen an allergist years ago. Again, how do you get there when they're willing against it? You spend 24/7, 365, willing everything down and putting spells on their victims. That's why the nation's in this weird way. Like everybody's sitting there going, what's going on? It's like everything's out of control. They weren't supposed to do anything to anybody. No, I don't condemn them to be sick. I told you I can't curse anybody. I made parameters years ago. Right. But right from the beginning that I knew it existed. Right. Well, I mean, you possess me, you torture me, you cause physical disability where my tissues are all cramped and crimped. My neurology is defeated. Right. And then you want to point at me? You stop me. You stop me. You use CIA type techniques. You use KGB type techniques. Correct. Enough of the games. They weren't supposed to be in my life. Not one of them. The real people, they're supposed to be in your life. I don't know who they're paying, but boy, they get a free ride, don't they? doesn't sound good. What is that? Big Harley going by. A lot of birds out. I don't think I can hear the birds without the hearing aid. Boy, they got a lot of sirens running around in the morning around here. It's like every morning. They have like a convoy of sirens driving around the community, pounding their horn. Beep, 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 beep. Kind of weird. Maybe a sign of the times. I should have laminated that for him. Oh, that one abandoned vehicle turns out to be my neighbor's. Yeah. So he sold it for parts and then bought something else that's a little more roadworthy. So I think I'll take my second dose of Allegra soon. I took it at right before bed. I don't believe in taking two at once. That doesn't make any sense. So I take like one at bedtime. I guess one at mid morning or something. They're saying take them both at the same time, but I think that kind of defeats some of the purpose, right? Unless you need that double dose at night or something. Actually, I think she was saying that taking them both in the morning, which would be for outdoor allergens. And they got me off my turmeric. I just got back on my turmeric again. Now they will this stuff. As soon as you purchase it, they will it. Trying to get a little bit of exercise in here this morning. Whew. Now, right side of the body is like relaxing a little bit, but a lot of inflammation, a little couple numb spots in my face around it. Again, I probably believe that at this point that if I could have got to that massage again every few days, she ran out of money, I guess. Maybe I could have did it. I don't know. I felt like I was soft enough, but I think I needed to get to that massage again. And then that would have probably protected the hearing. Got no idea what they thought they were doing. Nah, they create whistleblowers out of thin air. They're weirdos. What are you going to do? I mean, I had to go get my retirement. Had a family. That's what set them off. I actually pushed through to get my retirement. I mean, they're sickos, man. Meanwhile, criminals are running around with them having fun all day long. Nah, I kept having inflammation last night at a certain point. I just wouldn't. Yeah, but I just remember. I'll remember that I wasn't taking my turmeric. Turmeric works, especially if you double dose what they sell in the stores. Right. Nah, I was able to catch my disability, and then they fought me catching my disability, and making it not get worse, and they made it get worse. Wow. See, I should have known that Satan was going to make this difficult to get to church. Yeah, I scheduled a massage, and I was wondering about that too because I was pressed out. But they said I could just stand in the lobby or stand in the back. I mean, it's kind of weird, but I don't know if I'd stand in the back. I'd probably stand in the lobby, unless there was other people standing in the back. They blocked me from church all those years. That's what it was. I guess some of them have been pulled off, and that's what's opened it up. Again, Satan creates illusions around these things. I mean, it just boggles the mind. Just not sure which way to go with all this. What I think I'm going to do is I'm not sure what I'm going to do actually, because I really need 2 decent hearing aids for what because I need to have a backup just in case all sorts of things could happen. It's not an easy way to go when you don't have money. Right. So of course, they told a bunch of them that I have money and they should extort me, and then I could pay them. What happens is they use that time that I lived with my mother in Naples against me. Right. So, you live in Naples, you got money. How they've done that. They do whatever they can to get somebody to attack me. No, including the government, man. The government's into extortion and having other people extort their victims. They love it, man. Nothing's real. I mean, nothing's real. We're at that point. Nothing. So again, that's why you got such a loony thing going on around the White House. Thank you, lunch. Thanks, Larry. Again, they know, and they'll say I'm just doing it. No, it's just human nature. They know when I go and have a life that I don't focus on world matters much or what's going on. So again, it was all a manipulation. Well, the Republicans are going to run out of steam at a certain point if they actually have any steam. I mean, their big steam was getting elected, and I don't know if they've actually had steam since then. Well, because what you're doing is it's what you said you do, but you can't get there by doing the wrong thing. Apparently, they're talking about making part of El Salvador the United States. I mean, the same idea where they're going to make Greenland the United States. And, I mean, it's just like little kids, man. No basis in any reality, or I guess lunatics, one or the other. Of course, the judges are going to be the bad guys. Well, what we could do is we could get rid of judges. We could change the Constitution so there are no judges, and all there is presidents and senators. I mean, they're nuts, man. They're all nuts. Well, you're using like a political trick, dirty trick on judges. Right. I don't believe you're going to get anywhere with it. And they're focusing on me. They're focusing on me in the middle of the night. I can feel it when I wake up. You got people working like midnights in the government, focusing on the victims. I guess they run the watch list, or one of the million watch lists. I mean, it's a big scam. People who need to be watched aren't watched. You see, that's how they do it. Well, we have to watch these people, therefore we can't have the time to watch those people. Now, that misogynist, they're really, I usually don't get this inflamed, maybe because it's allergy season or something. Let's see what the dosage was on this. No, they shouldn't have been involved in my life like this. There's no reason that they were. It's all a scam. Countless decades doing it. You told me that you were going to get me. These people never talk to me about anything of that nature. They do rumors like, "Oh yeah, we talked about it." And you said, "Hell no." I mean, this is what they do. There's one continuous lie. Their father is Satan. Their father is the devil. Well, the whole concept of their system is to cause their victim to fall. I mean, whatever you want to say it's for. I mean, some of them have said, well, we do this because, we're part of this or part of that. Just one big scam. One after another. Kill this person, kill that person, kill that person, and we're the saviors of the nation. No, they weren't supposed to be in my life, bro. They weren't supposed to be in my life. Not one iota. Playing their game out. Right. Well, the real criminals will run around laughing. I'm really, let down at El Salvador's response to the person that was sent that wasn't really supposed to be sent. Right. Well, at that point, first question about the validity of the operation. Who's actually calling the shots? Who was actually shaking down his family? Well, the president of El Salvador needs to look to see if his people are conning him. At that point. Who was shaking down the pupusa business? And are these shakedowns going on today by different entities, including the entity that shook down his family? Oh my God. See? I'm talking about Central America, all of you. All right. The tradition is that it goes from one crook to the next crook. Not saying the president knows what's going on. The organization that shook down the pupusa business may not have actually been so the president of El Salvador needs to find out if shakedowns are going on, extortion of businesses by other entities. Possibly affiliated to his government. And or this idea where somebody makes an allegation, right? Or is that part of the shakedown? You pay us, and we won't make the allegation. So we have to look in El Salvador to see if their system is falling. And the president may not know because it doesn't add up. We agree. Well, we don't worship CCOT, okay? CCOT is not our God. Right. Although they've done a well job in refining all of it, there may be something that's awry. I should know what she was doing there. Yeah, it's kind of nasty out here. Wanted to do some more walking, but it feels like, ugh. When it gets warm and that wind's blowing, it's just nasty. Read. So we need to verify what's going on in that case. It makes no sense. Read. I mean, because the concept of CCOT is theoretically to put the organized criminals in prison. Right. But is it just to take out one gang and replace it with another? Where they use incarceration and CCOT as a strong arm technique. When we extort you, when we shake you down for money, you pay us, or your son or your brother or whoever, or even you could end up in CCOT. 1%. Done this, Larry. You've done it. You're here doing it right now, all of you. They can hear. Are being accused of murder. She didn't tell anybody. She told people. She didn't tell me she was going to get me. Nobody's ever talked to me. Right. They just relentlessly came against me. There was no options. Right. They keep closing the browser. If I tested them and I went to porn, they wouldn't close the browser. They'd leave it open all day long, blowing it up. 100%. Already tested them. Hey, like I said, I forgave you. I prayed to God to forgive you, but it doesn't mean that I don't talk about it. 100%. I mean, I don't know what you all expect out of your victims. Sat there for 30 years, trashing my life, trashing my family. 100%. I think I woke up my brother a little bit because I told him, what you're doing, Steve, is abusive. I appreciate your conversation. But, trying to force me to do what he wants me to do. Right. He wanted me to buy a hearing aid from Costco. He started doing some psychological manipulation. Probably his deep state stuff. Probably deep state at some point. I don't know how he'd be a multimillionaire without it. So you have to make sure that CCOT is still honest, and El Salvador is still honest. Have to make sure they're not making deals with the other gangs or something. Again, it may not even be the president. Right. And he's talking about walking off soon. Well, they weren't supposed to be in my life, man. Not one iota. I'd have a normal life. I'd have a wife. I'd have a church. Wouldn't even be here in Kansas. Right. They betrayed everything that was the United States. Everything. That's why you got Trump going wacko. It's like, they went crazy on the ship like Star Trek. Agree theory. Because it's a fantasy. I mean, if he pulls out, he might be able to pull it off, but it's not going to go where he says. And again, they're saying, what if China wins? It's an option. It's a possibility. I mean, he's nuts. People do not want inflation. Well, it was what's he called, Joe now? Sleepy Joe. It was Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe. I'm your buddy. Look at my dance. I'm your buddy. All those people. This great stock market, low price fuel, right? And they voted for Trump. And now they lost millions. Well, Charles Schwab made $12.5 billion. And it probably vaporized the next day. So again, I'm your best buddy by telling you this. There's going to be an effort to remove the president, and they're going to use that he's crazy. and then he can't possibly carry out responsibilities of his office. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. I'm sorry, Larry. I'm so sorry. Well, there are some of you that are sorry and some that aren't. But again, seeking that kind of forgiveness, I mean, you're all insane. Correct. You've been part of this. You've been part of this the whole time, all of you. There are people that are in it now that were in it in 2010 when they caused disruption in my hearing. Correct. I worked with the biggest criminals in the government. Didn't even know it. 100%. Agreed. It's like a clearinghouse. It's like they try to create. Oh, here it says I'm the snitch again. How am I a snitch? It's like a scam, right? I mean, who'd have thought that that was the government? No, even back then, it was back that area. It was around the D.C. area. It was all corrupt. They're all criminals. And even like Kash Patel, he only believes in law enforcement to a certain degree. Right? So again, getting rid of the deep state requires a little bit higher ethic than what we would find in any government, to tell you the truth. So again, I don't blame him. He's going to have a great life, and that's that, unless they find a reason to put him in prison. So I'm trying to be your best friend. You have to remember you're not going to get elected in midterms to begin with. It's just not going to happen. You're all off in some lunatic fringe. I suspect Virginia will go back to the Democrats. Virginia is a state with a high number Virginia is a state with a high number of government employees and family and friends of government employees. So I don't know how you plan to make that all work. Right. Oh, you wouldn't focus on me if I wouldn't say anything? Yeah, right. Thank you, Larry. What nasty weather. I don't remember being like this last year. Did I miss something? Maybe I was inside. Maybe I had a project going on and I just stayed inside. Right. Go outside just to see if I could maybe take a walk. I'm like, all that wind. Yuck. Probably everybody else will start thinking the same thing. So again, you got to look at Seacott Prison. Got to look at El Salvador to see if some other crime families running that place. And of course, many of you wouldn't have a problem with that as long as they do what you want. Who's saying please? Oh, the people that want another $1 million. Right. That's what they're begging for. Please stop broadcasting so they'll pay me another $1 million. It's like a casino. Shame I can't drink any coffee. That's what I need today. But I'm an LDS person now, so can't drink coffee anyway. It's an intoxicant. Ugh, so ugly outside. The ugly state of Kansas. The whole thing's an ugly stick. Now I need for them to stop somewhere along the way. They kept paying. You're all taking corrupt money. Come on. That's what it might be down in Seacott. Bait and switch. Right. Well, the part that I don't understand is how you're not allowed to keep them at Gitmo, but you're allowed to send them to El Salvador. I don't understand that. Great. Right. I mean, maybe you need a judicial process or proceeding. Sorry. But it makes no sense to me that you can keep them in CCOT, but you can't keep them in Gitmo. No, the only chance you had to actually changing the system to be more beneficial. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. To the administration's deportation desires was to actually create less friction. Agreed. No, that's wonderful. Putting spells at me. So the only answer was actually the opposite of what you're all doing. So if you would have, if you would have, if you would have actually played it cooler and more intelligently, you may have picked up a few seats at midterm. At this point, there could be inquiries launched from the House beginning the midterms. Yeah, maybe even the Senate. I've never seen somebody so callous and uncaring and just flipping off the American public in the history of the presidency. I mean, you just essentially are like, who cares? You're talking about people that had plans for that money that they lost, right? I mean, again, if the market's up and your business has some financial issues, you just replace it with the money from the market. Right. Agreed. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is like horrible, like the worst day of the week for me, health wise. But I really want to help these missionaries feel okay about their effort. So I'm going to try to get there, but I'm really not health wise with it. Thank you. That's thanks to all of you. Again, you're all a bunch of devils. Boy, that wind. Ugh. So again, what you need to do is look at El Salvador and CCOT and make sure that there isn't some other crime family running that nation state. And the president may not know. Well, because you're sending the wrong message. So one of the shakedown victims is now incarcerated, along with MS-13. Well, what message does that send? That when you get shaken down, you pay your money or you end up in CCOT. I'm telling you, you're going to get held in contempt of court. Might be the president's self. Thank you, Larry. Definitely 4 years ago, I needed to keep moving forward with massage. I just couldn't get to it. That was the problem. Right. Mm. Boy, it's like so ugly out here. Nobody, like all these cars here, all these people are home, and nobody's come outside. Yeah, a couple people earlier, maybe walking dogs. Yeah, I got to adjust the hearing aid here. Give me a second. It definitely pays to buy a real good hearing aid. All right. And this thing keeps turning up to full volume while I'm not looking, which is not healthy for my hearing. I'm sure it's going to cost me a lot of money. Okay. Well, there's questions at this point. What El Salvador is doing? They're poking fun at a guy that's not supposed to be in there. I mean, he wasn't even an illegal immigrant. Correct. He sought amnesty, and the process said he gets amnesty, at least to a certain degree. Right. Do you disable people and continue to disable them while they're disabled? I was disabled when I went in the Marshal Service to a certain degree. Right. I was actually the last person that's supposed to lose their job in a RIF. Right. And now all you're losing your job. Right. Again, there are redeeming qualities to what President Trump's doing, but again, they're doing it such a terrible job at it. They'll all probably be rehired by the next administration. Right. Right. I mean, you cost people enough money, and what are they going to do? They're just going to put you out, mass en masse. They're not going to care. Right. Like my brother, he's holding out that if there's some master plan works because he's got money. You know? Could just let me live a peaceful life. Now to play your game the entire time. I was directly operated the entire time. It's amazing I didn't commit a crime. To tell you the truth. They're focusing on me. Every last one of them. Whoa. 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 Just brought some entities onto the planet. We'll see if they can take care of the business that needs to get taken care of. Again, everybody stay peaceful. God will handle it. Everybody stay peaceful. I'm the person that tells you that. That's why they tell you I'm violent. Notice not many people will tell you to stay peaceful because they really don't want you to. Correct. Make sure. Well, they'll say, well, he says to stay peaceful because he's just scamming us. They call evil good, good evil. I don't agree with everything that anyone says, whether a government or a private sector. But again, there's no reason to not associate, not to be civil, not to, allow the space. Right? Ugh. And again, I actually might stay in the lobby because the I have to adjust the hearing aid. It's just not working right. This is a cheaper one. That does. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's just not working. I mean, they're willing me down real bad today, and I have some physical disability going on too. So again, it's apparent what they've been doing to keep me out of churches. Right. I guess they wanted to say they saved my family from me. This is something that a theme they bring up every so often. How they saved the world by harming me. Well, if I felt like this yesterday, I probably wouldn't be going to church. I wouldn't have told them I was going to church. Oh my God. But I do have to eventually get ready and go and say hey to them and at least make them feel like their effort is worthwhile. And again, that's it's a hard life to a certain degree to be a missionary. Right, requires a lot of focus, a lot of effort. Uh, I wish it was televised. I guess some of them are televised, aren't they? Yeah, something caused the connection to fail. So again, what you're actually doing in the administration by pushing so hard is actually boomeranging. Well, you need cooperation in government to get where you're going. You need to take care of the public. I mean, obviously, nothing's working except for the media not covering everything that's going on. Obviously, kids are being killed in the Gaza still. Right. Obviously, and again, I don't support Hamas one iota. Actually, most people that like would accuse me of that weren't even involved in the process 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when I was trying to bring peace to the Middle East. I said the only way to a two-state solution is for the Palestinians to move in a certain direction that shows a responsible government. Right. Another thing, I never said that the current borders are the borders. Right? That's it, we could change that around many different ways. Right. No good deed goes unpunished. Ukrainian war is raging on. I never would have approved the. No, it's not working here. Somebody's coming. All right, let's see if it works. Is it working? Yeah, there's works. They're calling me an SOB inside. Right. I never would have approved an incursion into Russia while negotiations were pending. Again, if negotiations went nowhere, then that would be one thing. But we were on the doorstep of further negotiations, theoretically. Right. And then they were scuttled. Yeah, right. It's almost evil to do something like that. Right. I'm sure Biden knew about it. Right. All right. They're willing me down from government circles. will me down to make a mistake or say something out of line, right? Or not even go to church. They're so angry that I get to go to church. Right. No marriage, no relationships, no friends, no money. Until he does what we want. I mean, they're creating CIA prison cells in life. They're sick. Been sick the whole time. God will handle it. Don't be violent. No, I'm not God by any stretch of the imagination. Because that's what they're going to say. Oh, but he thinks he's God. That's what he's saying. Psychobabble, psychobabble. Yeah, yeah. They use psychobabble. They dropped law years ago. That's why law is so weak. Because they use psychobabble, man. That's what they use, psychobabble. And they psychobabble on all day. But we go to church. Yeah, the browser keeps failing. Most likely a hack. Ugh, I'm so sick this morning. I wish I could just get out of here. I told my brother his place was killing me, that I needed to go. He told me I was crazy. This is before all the latest stuff happening to me. I told him I just need to get out. I go, you did this before, you did this before. Yeah, and I healed a little bit. Right. I don't know, my stomach's getting screwed up. I don't know what it is. Could be the allergens. I think I have a connection with that. Oh, God, it's so nasty out here. Nastiest state in the union at this point. Oh, Fusion Center. The apostates of the Fusion Center. And that's how they did it. They opened up these fusion centers and then used that for their criminal enterprises. I mean, yes, they do something. But again, it's probably not worth having them. Probably could have did it with traditional law enforcement. Correct.
I just don't know how I'm gonna. I'm trying to like be low key at church. I just don't know how I'm gonna do that. And I can't really stand in one spot. Right. I have to try to figure this out. Right. Just not sure what to do. So what they should have is a Bible and a Book of Mormon in one. All right. Now let's see if they have that. See if I can. Well, because you need to. Trying to get my. There it is. I get my gummy out. I have this thing in my van that I sit on. Ugh. I'm trying to do that maybe. I guess I didn't see the lobby. They said in the lobby there were some chairs. I think I came into the back side of the church because there were some volunteers doing some work. No, at this point, I'm sure of my salvation, and I actually showed. So I opened the scriptures. I can't get to it here because hang on, maybe I can. Okay, I guess I can. All right. So it said to open the Book of Mormon. Last night I was here and I said, it said, Spirit kind of said, didn't say what the inference was. Prompting was to open the Book of Mormon and read the first, paragraph that I see. And this is that paragraph. And for this cause ye shall have fullness of joy, and ye shall sit down in the kingdom of my Father, yea, your joy shall be full, even as the Father hath given me fullness of joy, and ye shall be even as I am, and I am even the Father, or even as the Father, and the Father and I are one. I still believe there's one God, and you can't be God, but everything is connective to God. Right.
Well, it's like the Wizard of Oz. God will say a lot of different things because it's just like the Prince and the Pauper. Is that what it was? Where they switched lives. Right. So how's God going to get you to act a different way around God? Saying certain things. Ugh. I'm wondering how to do this. It's a lot for me to get to church right now. I just hope my health will be a little bit better. Oh, I'm so sick. No idea what's making me sick. No, I have to get the massages because I have to still release some more tissues, and over time that should pay off. I'm so sorry. Oh God. But it's just like when I was going to do surgery. All of a sudden, I'm sick. Ugh. I hope they didn't do anything. Well, God will respond in kind, I'm sure. There's nothing that we're to do. We're supposed to wait on the Lord. I mean, I suspect the Trump administration is doing something against my life just because it's so upside down, stupid, crazy. They burned every bit of what they had, burned their bridges. Well, you're going to have a certain percentage of people that are going to be faithful, especially if they're on the payroll, right? If you're uh, promising the self-appointed kings, queens, and kings of the United States additional autonomy, additional power, additional fascism, yeah, let's go, right? They're not going to come against you. Right? No, it's just I just don't know how to go to church right now and effectively. Right. Well, I should have went before. I mean, we're not going to play that game where I have a need to repent for not going to church as you killed me. God told me you're disabled. I got no requirements for you. There's a lot of requirements for them. They were given much that they didn't earn. They try to flip it around. Wild. So, yeah, next thing you know, I'll be the radical Mormon. This is the most dangerous Mormon we've ever seen. Or Latter Day Saint. Right. Let's make up another story. Mm. I'm just not sure that I can get there. I'm just trying to think if I drive there. Right. Well, I definitely, I don't think I could sit in the chapel. But I might be able to have this little pillow. All right. Ugh. I feel so sick. I'd like to try to get there one time before Easter. All right. I'll have to give it a try. You did this to me. You spent your lifetimes doing it to me. You got paid big money to do it to me. Right. Stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.